tapped in to Viral Volley Podcast. Now here's your host, Rob the Sparrow, or from Rob on the Mic.
Hey, good day, everyone, and welcome to Viral Volley Viral Volley Podcast. It's been a while since I had an episode. This is episode 315, and have a familiar face on screen, and is none other than I met her when she was a Duck at Oregon, playing against her rival team, the Washington Huskies, one cold November. But this is Brooke Nuneviller of now LOVB Austin. Brooke, so good to see you and talk to you again.
Yes, so good to see you too, Rob.
Start out with a real easy one. Big news came out in May, and you would not be returning to the Omaha Supernovas after a couple championships and all-star appearances. And can you describe your time with Omaha?
Oh my goodness, it's hard to describe. I remember when I was leaving in May a couple months ago, the day I left, I was crying all day just because that franchise genuinely means the world to me. I think I just had 3 incredible seasons there. I was surrounded by incredible people, staff, teammates, ownership, just everyone. They treat their athletes so well. And obviously the fan base there is incredible too. And I just received so much support while I was there. So that franchise will always hold a very special place in my heart.
Well, obviously 3 years there, and this may be one of the hardest questions for you, but what's your favorite memory while being in Omaha?
Ooh, I feel like I have to say winning the inaugural championship in 2024. I think every athlete that was on that team and in the league that was PBF at the time, they really just took a leap of faith in joining a startup league. And we had no idea what it was going to turn out to be. But we really had the most incredible team, the most incredible staff, just really it was the best possible scenario of like the startup and just having this leap of faith, and just we had this like fairy tale ending in the season one.
Was being that in that first pro league in the United States, was it everything you could have dreamed of? And I mean, did it meet your expectations or exceed it?
For sure. I never even thought that there would be in my career an opportunity to play in the States professionally. And I barely knew what it looked like to play overseas when I was in college. And so the fact that I did get the opportunity, one, to go overseas for a few months, but then to come back and play in the States and be this role model for little kids and young girls that aspire to be professional athletes. I just never had that growing up, at least athletes that were playing in the States, of games that I could go watch. So that's kind of always been something that I've aspired to do now that we have that opportunity to play in the States, and just to get the opportunity to come back was really special.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna drop another tough question on you. And it's I know that you've had a few different teammates over the years, but are there any particular teammates or teammate that you enjoyed playing with, and why?
I've been very blessed in my entire professional career, even when I played in Turkey and even at the University of Oregon in college. I've just had really, really amazing teammates, very selfless teammates, and people that really just put the team first, whatever role they're on. But outside of volleyball, I do have some girls that have been some of my closest friends on my team. The last couple of years, both of them happen to be setters. I would say Natalia Valentin Anderson is one of the most incredible human beings that I know. And she was on the Dallas Pulse last year, and now she's with LOVB Omaha. But she's amazing, and she's such a feisty, fiery, competitive athlete, and just a special human. So she's definitely one of them. Sydney Hilly, also from last season, I got to play with her in 2024, and then she came back in this last season. She's always been one of my closest friends. But I could go on and on about people just that have been awesome teammates and friends for the last few seasons.
I personally like how you name setters so you can get fed more often if you're in that offense.
Well, neither of them are my setters for this next season. I haven't actually played with either setter that I'm going to be playing with, so I'm excited.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Natalia Valentin, because when I first started working international events with USA Volleyball, she's one of the first athletes I connected with for Puerto Rico. She was playing to qualify for some FIVB World Championships with the national team of Puerto Rico, and fantastic player. And she's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, she taught me so much in the 2 years that I got to play with her. And she's I think 35, I want to say now, and she still plays like she's 20 years old. It's crazy.
She is definitely a baller with that fiery attitude, that's for sure.
For sure.
Now, are there any particular athletes or teams that you developed a pretty healthy rivalry against? A good friendly one, of course.
Yeah. I think like what the MLB did a great job of was like kind of creating these rivalries, and it naturally happens as, time goes on with both leagues or any league. And I would say like for me, one of the biggest rivalries was probably between the Supernovas and the Atlanta Vibe. I
Hmm.
think like just from season one, we were the two teams that were expected to win the championship or just have the best chance. And that was the one team in season one where we didn't have like a tied or we didn't beat them more times. I think our record against them was 1-3. So they had an edge on us, and we didn't get to play them in the finals. They lost in the semifinals that year. But they were always, I mean, Leah Edmond too has been like a star on that team, and she's always someone that I love to play against. So that was definitely one of them. And I would say like definitely the Indy Ignite. They've been a top team for the last 2 seasons there. And we always just have like the most competitive fun matches against them.
Yeah. Well, to this point in your career, you've got a pretty impressive volleyball resume, and you've become one of the most watched athletes in the game. First Oregon's first ever three-time AVC All-American, captured the 2024 MLV Championship, named the league's 2025 Outside Hitter of the Year, even logged in matches with Athletes Unlimited, helped Team USA by wearing the red, white, and blue and medaling at the 2023 NORCECA Pan Am Cups in the final six, um, ending in a bronze medal in the NORCECA Pan American Cup, and now LOVB. I don't think there's any other player who's actually donned all the potential top women's uniforms and now hasn't been in all the women's professional leagues, because technically it was Pro Volleyball Federation, which you're in,
Hmm.
then to MLV, and now Love. And I forgot to mention your international experience with Nilüfer in Turkey.
Hmm.
But that says a lot about the game that you have and how in demand that you are as an athlete. But what's inspired you to excel at those levels?
Oof. I've always been a competitor. I would say, like, from a very young age, I was just born into this volleyball competitive family. Both my parents played. I have an older brother who's about 6 years older, who I always wanted to compete with. So that helped definitely like aspire my competitiveness. But he was a volleyball player as well. He now coaches at Mater Dei in California. And I would just say, like, from a very young age, like, I was just a competitor. And so I've always wanted to compete at the highest level. But I would say like I mentioned before, nowadays playing professional volleyball in the States, like the thing that drives me is just being able to like be that role model for younger athletes. Like I said, it's just nothing that I never had, and a lot of girls that are playing now never had growing up, and it's really cool that like they can look at us and be like, "Oh, I want to do that one day."
Brooke, but it seems like the way that you go about and you carry yourself is so unique. And it's one of the reasons why I believe when I interview you, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is an incredible ambassador for the game. You're outgoing, you're competitive. At times you look like you're super like a baller on the court, like a gladiator. But when you come off, it's like you've got this ray of sunshine about you, and all the girls and all the volleyball fans love approaching you.
Mhm.
How do you approach being the personality that you are in the game on and off the court?
Well, thank you, first of all. Over the years, I've definitely developed this separation between being that gladiator and competitor on the court versus being like a pretty like laid back, genuine human being. And I say like that took a lot of time, like to have that separation and just kind of like look deep inside to really understand like the human that I want to be, both on and off the court. But I do. I want people to watch me play, and I want them to be like, okay, she's representing the sport very, very well. More than like those stats or anything that you've mentioned before. Like I want to leave that legacy of like, she represents the sport of volleyball very well.
Hmm. Well, that's one of the things that I can tell that you value is being the ultimate sports person, sportswoman, sportsman, however you want to refer to it. And it shows just in your followership and the response of the people. Just looking at like in social posts when you're at the, let's say the Supernovas like outreach events, like you're always right in the thick of it, engaging the fans. And it's such a special time, especially when you're inspiring people to become better in the game, but also see that they can be like this cool person, so to speak.
Thanks, Rob.
Now, with the Omaha experience, I mean, it was the first women's pro league, and gosh, it was fantastic seeing your career there. And I imagine it had to be pretty tough to part ways with not only Omaha because it was their lone team in PVF, MLV, but now moving on to Love. But how do you see yourself stepping into the new league?
Mhm. It was very tough to say goodbye. Those people, ownership, staff, teammates, fans, they invested a lot of time and energy into me. And so like I'm very, very grateful for that franchise. I think like for me, I'm just really excited for new opportunities.
Mhm.
This is my first year with Love. I've played with and against a lot of these girls in the past at different times, but I haven't seen them like either on my side or the other side of the net in years. And it's just like another exciting opportunity for growth for me. And so
Mhm.
they bring like a different competitive atmosphere. I'm excited to just like have new scouting reports, have new teammates, new competitors. And I've watched Love develop over the last couple of years. They've done a fantastic job. So is MLB, and I'm, hoping for a merge in the future. But I think I'm just really excited for the new opportunity, and just to play with some new girls.
Just for the record, I think a lot of us are hoping for that merge because
Yeah.
I mean, there's 10 teams in both leagues now. It's
Mhm.
20. That's going to be one solid competition
Mhm.
between so many of the top players that are opting not to go abroad and instead play here in the States. And
Mhm.
that is going to be phenomenal to see some of the former top collegiate players all competing here, mixed in with some internationals now.
Mhm.
It's such an exciting time for women's volleyball, without a
It
doubt.
is for sure. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Now, I mean, I know you're super humble, but the fact of the matter is this: you're kind of the face of PVF, MLV, and Omaha. That's a huge role to take on, but or a mantle to take on. But how did you approach being that ambassador for such a pioneering league for women's sports, professional sports?
I was very lucky to kind of be put on the front part of that. Just like, I don't know, like you said, advertisements, social posts, they definitely advertise me in a lot of things. And I think being that face or one of the faces of the league, I've been a part of it for the last 3 years. So I think like fans and people and franchises want to see like a consistency amongst players that they can root for. So that made it easy for them. But I think it was just like honoring that I could kind of use that platform and to my advantage and just really try to be that like ambassador for the sport. Like I was given this platform, and so I don't know, I just want to do what I can to like be a good face. I don't know. When you ask me questions like that, I don't know what to say, but I think like I want to use it to my advantage.
Yeah,
And really just be like the good role model that is why I'm playing the sport.
you're definitely a key part of why I believe the game is growing, not only on the women's side, but also on the men's side. But you look at recent athletes like for World Cup, you have Holland of Norway,
Mhm.
Sophie Cunningham of the India Ignite. You have a very similar presence that's very influential. And the thing is, you let your play do the talking, and even the person off the court also do the talking as someone who represents the game and the
Mhm.
dignity and the excellence of volleyball.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I was like, "Gosh, do I need to ask her this question?" But I feel like I need to for listeners and viewers. But um, what brought about this change from PVF MLV to Love?
I kind of touched on this before, but I think as incredible of an experience that I had with the Supernovas, and really, I don't believe there can be another fan base that's replicated anywhere in the world, honestly. It's pretty special that even in the inaugural season, we were averaging 10,000 fans per game. Um, I really wanted to challenge myself with a new atmosphere, new competitors,
Mhm.
just a new situation for me.
Mhm.
I don't want to say that I was comfortable by any means because I think with any startup, there's always a lot of turnover. We had four, I think, different head coaches in 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I had new teammates every single year, even from year one to year two. Nati and I were the only two returners. So, um, but it's just a different opportunity to learn, to play against new people, for new systems, just different things. And I think like that was just something that I was ready to do, um, and just see what I could do in a new league.
Yeah. Well, with your you actually haven't played a match for Love yet, but are there any noticeable differences so far that you can ascertain in, well, officially today was the official announcement that you're going to be on Love Austin, but we knew at the beginning of the week just on social posts that you're on that roster. But what are you seeing in difference operationally or just vibe wise, if
Mhm.
any?
I mean, like some obvious ones is that they're now starting to get separate ownership groups per team, but for the first couple seasons, I believe the majority, if not all, were one entity. So it was one ownership group, which is why you'll see things like Love Austin, Love Atlanta, Love Omaha.
Hmm.
And with MLV, like they were all owned by different people. So you have Omaha Supernovas, the Atlanta Vibe, and they were able to like personalize those things more. So that's like two like structural differences between the leagues. I'll say there's a lot more overseas talent in Love. There's a
Hmm.
lot of talented overseas players that were in MLB too, but there's just more overseas athletes that you wouldn't have
Hmm.
seen probably in college growing up, if you were a fan following college players. I would also say MLB is definitely a younger league. There's a lot of top elite college talent that is coming to MLB. I would say the average age the last couple seasons was probably around 24, 25 on my
Hmm.
teams. And I would say for Love, like league wide, the average is probably like later 20s. So you
Yeah.
have that more like veteran experience. Um, but I really think like there's an incredible talent in both leagues. You see like that Olympic level a little bit more in
Hmm.
Love, like a lot of our Olympians, like Jordan Thompson, Jordan Poulter. I can go on and on. Like most of our
Yeah.
Olympians are playing in Love. So you'll see like those slightly like higher level players, like a couple more per team. So I'm excited to see like just those faces. I haven't played against them for a while. I played with them a little bit in the national team gym a couple years ago, but it'll
Hmm.
be fun to like play against them.
Well, what's really cool is I caught this week they Love did a special focus on Love moms, like
Hmm.
players have gone and had babies and are coming back. But gosh, you look at some of those names: Kelsey Robinson Cook,
Hmm.
Annie Drews, and Schumacher. I mean, they're going to come back, and they haven't lost too much of the skills. If anything, it's just going to take some tuning up here in the
Hmm.
preseason. But man, that's some solid talent and such a great marketing aspect for or uh, we'll say uh, tech strategy for Love is having the moms of top players come back in, but also you have such a diverse group of women competing against each
Hmm.
other.
Yeah, absolutely. They have a really great policy, and I'm not sure actually what MLB's policy is, but Love does have a very great policy of supporting mothers in the sport. I I don't know exactly what it is, but they just do a really good job supporting. And I know Sarah Wilhite Parson, she was on my
Hmm.
Omaha Supernovas team and she's now in Love and she's a new mom. Her son's just over a year now.
Hmm.
And honestly, both leagues, like they do a fantastic job. Like Sarah, she got like child support. She just had like nannies that would come in and out. She like brought him on the road a couple times, her baby. But yeah, you see a ton of new moms in Love: Kelsey Robinson, Justine, Annie, Danny
Hmm.
Drews, Ronnie Jones Perry. Like there are so many moms that are new. I think a lot of them just had their baby too within the last few months. So
Yeah.
it'll be exciting. Like they're Olympians. They'll
Yeah.
be able to bounce back. They'll still be very, very good volleyball players. But it is really cool to see that woman, because if you were overseas, you wouldn't see that as much anymore.
Yeah.
But now that they're in the States, you have just these opportunities to go have a child and come back and compete in the sport that they love. So
Yeah. Well, I pulled some analytics from last year of Love, and in 2026, they saw over 7.5 million viewers watching on USA Network. League expansion, 35 million impressions on social media, up 273% from the previous year, 15.9 million video views. Are you excited about the future women's volleyball has and the part that you get to play in it?
yeah, absolutely. The fact that like I actually didn't think that I've played in every US professional league. That's kind of a cool stat, but that's the reason I wanted to come back to the States and kind of take that leap of faith in season one with PBF, is just to like grow the sport in that way. So
Hmm.
yes, like hearing those statistics, the sport of volleyball is growing exponentially every year. I really think it's like the next thing, the next sport to really take off in the United States. And you're seeing those in those statistics, and you're just seeing that in like the incredible, incredible athletes that are now coming home to play really, really great professional volleyball. And I think like if people aren't following professional sports and they're volleyball fans, or even if they're not, like they fall in love with the sport, and they'll fall in love with the athletes too.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. This is also a big week because Love teams have started dropping their rosters, and you know, they've all done it differently. Austin Love ATX just dropped one big picture of all the players, but some
Mhm.
are doing day by day drops and maybe three, but some rock solid lineups out there. But can you share a little bit of what you know about your ATX team?
Yeah, I mean, I've played with a few of them in the past, like Asia O'Neal, I've played with it for a couple years. Molly McCage, I played with a bunch in Athletes Unlimited. Um, I've played with Maddie Cubic Banks a long
Mhm.
time ago with like the USA pipeline. I played against her in college at Nebraska. And I've watched a lot of the girls too. Like Bree, one of our setters, I watched her play with Team Canada. I'm very excited to play with her. There's like so many names that I've heard of or I've watched play and I haven't got the opportunity to play with, but I'm just excited to play with new girls. And like I don't know, like different tendencies and different things of like the
Mhm.
competitors or the people that I'm playing against. So it's just gonna be fun to like just see new people, new arms, new experiences.
Mhm. Well, Brooke, I got to ask you this because it's the volley nerd in me. Obviously, you train super hard, weight room, getting your reps, but are you a volley nerd doing video and scouting and going on to data volley or volley metrics and checking out tendencies of players and all that?
Definitely in season more. I would say like out of season, I really more like the last year or two have like really just focused on like staying really fit and like exercising when I can, getting in the gym when I can, but just like enjoying like life outside of volleyball a little bit more. But when I'm in season, for sure, like I'm on volumetrics all the time. And especially like now is an amazing time to go watch like BNL, Volleyball Nations League. Team
Hmm.
USA is like playing incredible volleyball, and watching the men's and the women's, like you get to see new athletes, and like some of them like have crazy different tendencies that you've never seen before. And like you can definitely watch and pick and choose things to kind of add or into your own game.
Yeah. Well, you've had some great sponsors along the way, and actually familiar with both of them, and I know that they've been supporting athletes and one particularly women's athletes. That's Goriana Jewelry.
Mhm.
They've
Mhm.
been sponsoring not only professional athletes but even collegiate athletes now, and Mizuno
Mhm.
volleyball. So,
Mhm.
want to share any thoughts with your two sponsors, Goriana and Mizuno?
Oh, they've been the most incredible partners. I started working with Mizuno almost a year now, and then Goriana, it's been a little bit over a year. And I would say like the second year that I was in the States is when like partners started coming in, and like those have just been the two like unexpected blessings of when I started professional volleyball. Just incredible partners to work with. Like you said, they've been just so supportive. I actually just did a shoot with Goriana in Laguna Beach, and like they are like you would never expect like jewelry companies to be working and doing these like sports campaigns, but they follow, they support, they show the love when they can, and I get to work with them pretty closely, so they're both amazing.
Well, it's truly a great honor. When I walked by the store in Laguna back, probably just about a year ago,
Mhm.
like, wow, she's kind of huge right now. And it was a poster of you.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my goodness.
But they've been such fans of the game and
Mhm,
solid supporters of not only you, but a few other women athletes as well. And they definitely put their money where their mouths are. That's for
mhm.
sure.
They're
Um,
great. Yeah.
as we come upon this 2026, actually it'd be 2027, right? When Love
Mhm.
starts. Um, is there any particular team you're looking forward to playing now the rosters have been revealed?
See, the teams that have posted like their entire rosters in one picture, I've gotten to take a
Hmm.
look at, and but I honestly like haven't taken a good look at all the teams yet. Like you said, like some teams are announcing like player by player by player, so I
Hmm.
don't have like a great grasp of every single team, but there's definitely some stacked ones out there. I'll say like Love LA is going to be a really fun team to watch. Like you have players like, Catherine Plummer that are coming back from playing overseas for years, that's coming back home in the States and playing in LA. San Francisco is going to be loaded. I know that. Honestly, like Love is a very talented league, and they have pretty league-wide talent. So I'm excited. And you never know like how teams develop either, or like how they show up in playoffs. Like Love Austin, for example, I think they
Hmm.
finished fifth season one, and they tied for third season two, and then they won both championships. So it's just there's going to be a lot of controversy, parity, and just really fun volleyball.
Well, if anyone knows, as I'm sure you're familiar with your experience in the NCAA tournament, like, the regular season doesn't matter. It's what you do when it comes
Yeah,
playoff time.
exactly.
Get your reps in and get it done. Um,
Mhm.
any messages for our viewers and listeners about this upcoming season and how they can follow along with you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for watching. Rob, thanks for having me. If you've ever watched me play or watched professional volleyball or volleyball in any capacity, thank you for following the sport. And like I said before, if you have been a fan of professional volleyball in the States, if you haven't, this year, I think just every year is going to keep getting better. The sport's going to keep growing. And you have some pretty amazing talent to watch. I'm pretty sure games are going to be streamed on USA Network again. But yeah, get a load of it. We have starting competition in January, and then we'll start training in November. So can't wait.
Oh, so great. I'm excited to see. It's always great having you on, Brooke. And, since meeting in Oregon, and actually my favorite moment with you, and it just shows the fiery gladiator competitor that you are, but the same graceful athlete in the same respect. You're actually playing beach and you're
Mhm.
playing at Irvine Valley College, and a blocker made the mistake of pulling on you and got stuck in no man's land. And you sent a souvenir into their midsection, but like you hit it and you're like, ah, and then you realize what happened. You went across the net and checked in on her like immediately.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's just the person you are. You're an incredible athlete, an incredible person. And
Mhm.
I love seeing where your career is taking you and what Love VB Austin is going to look like for you this season. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on. I look forward to having you back on in the future, maybe during the
Mhm.
season,
Mhm.
and get an update on the Brooke Nuneviller career.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me, Rob.
Thanks for listening or watching the Viral Volley Podcast. Be sure to follow Rob at the Rob on the Mic on Instagram.